Hello, welcome to one blog, 30 plus pieces of content, all in 1 hour. If there's one webinar that I put myself under pressure with whenever I do it, it's certainly this one. This is the one that really tests my skills and hopefully my internet connection as well. I'm at home. My name's Dante St. James. Let's get underway. I'll share that screen and I'll show you how you can repurpose some of your blog content, assuming you got some, into much more than just a blog. Let's go. Quote first from Derek Halpin, who's a very respected social media repurposing expert. You don't have to create content day in, day out. You just have to work on getting the content you already have in the hands of more people. That's the plan today, is not to have to get you making tons and tons of content every single day. What we're trying to do here is make sure you can get more out of each piece of content you make. And it all starts with a blog. First of all, this is brought to you by the Digital Solutions Program from the Australian Government in partnership with Business Station. You could be watching this anywhere in Australia, including Queensland, Northern Territory, and Western Australia. And welcome to wherever you are. I'm in Darwin in Northern Territory right now. Next week I'll be in Adelaide, and last week I was in Perth. So it's also a very very mobile program. You can watch this a little bit later on YouTube. Through the Business Station or my own Dante St. James channel as well. So if there's anything you miss in this very fast process, please, you can catch up with it again on YouTube later on. It usually takes about an hour to an hour and a half to get that up and then into it. Sian's asking, how on earth did we let you into WA? Thankfully, I'm from a place that's that's a low risk area. Although I did have to isolate for one night just to get a negative COVID test, which I got, and then the border restrictions were lifted anyway. So people from the Northern Territory can come and go quite easily into WA now because we don't have any coronavirus, apparently, like you don't. My name, Dante St. James, done a bunch of stuff. If you see me on the camera looking over here, that's because that's where my big screen is, where I'm going to work on. I've worked with Facebook's Blueprint program globally, as well as the community training program here in Australia, which is all online at the moment. I've got stuff with the Northern Territory government that I'm doing in October with their October Business Month, touring around the Northern Territory, teaching people digital skills. With the New Business Assistance with NICE program in the Northern Territory, Treaty Business Consulting, done some study at the University of New South Wales, and just changed my logo to that sexy little thing down the bottom right-hand corner with Clickstarter, which is my own digital agency, and probably the example I'm going to use today of one of the blogs that I'm going to pull out of nowhere and turn into lots and lots of different content. And how it works basically is we start off with one existing article from my website. So we're going to pop into my WordPress website, pull that article out and turn it into something. Then I'm going to take three main points from that article. So that's just three main points. I always write my articles to have three main points anyway, because it's a really good, if we get a chance, we might be able to do another webinar in September, which will be all about how to access how to write your blogs into that 3-point format. It actually makes blog writing remarkably simple. For someone who's got not much time like myself, I wrote my blogs on my plane trip back from WA on Saturday, and I was then able to do all this on Sunday to get it going. And it took me about an hour to get all this process done. How it works with Facebook is we're going to share an article, the main article we've done. That's the easy part. Then we're going to create 3 graphic posts, 3 video posts, and 3 story posts. We're going to repeat some of this on the other networks like LinkedIn, Instagram, sorry, where there's going to be 3 graphic posts, 3 video posts, but also 3 stories. And then over to LinkedIn, where I'm going to copy the article in and actually put the article into LinkedIn. We're going to have 3 graphic posts and 3 video posts as well. You're seeing a lot of repeats here because the 3 graphic posts and 3 video posts are all the same shape, all the same posts. I'm not creating special ones just for LinkedIn. That would take even more time. I'm going to go to Medium, which is a website for showing articles, like not really a blog, but it's more like you becoming your own little online journalist. I'm going to copy the article from my website into Medium, where I've got a little bit of a following now happening over there. In Twitter, I'll share the article, have another 3 graphic posts, another 3 video posts. You've got the countdown up here of how many different pieces of content that's now creating on different networks. Then I'm going to go over to Google My Business, and we're going to post 3 graphic posts into there as well, which also have a bit of text with them. And that's going to be scheduled in a program which I'll show you very shortly. When we get up to 38, we're now talking about a YouTube video, which I'm going to create. I'm going to try and do this live from within the Zoom call we're on. So it's going to be an interesting sort of inception thing. You're going to be watching a video of me recording a video that's going to be edited video that's going to be put up on the YouTube. Now, unfortunately, I have to wait for this whole Zoom webinar to end before I can pull that video out. So that's why I'm kind of using a little bit of our early time to do what I'd normally spend to create that YouTube video. And then that YouTube video will pull the audio out of it, and that will create an episode in my podcast, which I do. I have a podcast. Just look for it, Clickstarter. It's a podcast that is very episodic, I guess. When I get a chance to do it, I have got an episode that I did yesterday for today, so that's out and live at the moment. And the plan is to do an episode a week, every single week, and I won't need to do any more than this once a week. So 1 hour to 1.5 hours, depending on how fancy I want to get my video, is how we'd spend getting all this done to give you plenty of stuff, like more than a week's worth of stuff. Like, we don't need 6 posts on Facebook a week to make this happen. In fact, that's actually a bad thing to do. You want fewer posts on Facebook in order to work with the algorithm better, rather than just keep feeding it stuff that people don't want to read. What I'm going to use is mostly Canva. Canva is going to be where I'm going to do most of the video work, all the graphic work. That's going to be really simple to do. Social Pilot is what I use to schedule everything. So if I wanted to schedule things out, not just in Facebook and Instagram, because otherwise I just use Business Suite, but if I was just doing Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google My Business, I can do all of that with Social Pilot. There are other systems that will do this as well. Some are more, some are less than what Social Pilot costs. It costs me about $50 a month, but considering that I'm not just doing this for myself, I do this for other people too. This is something which definitely pays for itself. I use a program called Flixia, which is my video editor, which allows me to take this video we're doing now, snack it down to 2 different things. Number one, the video that you're going to see later on YouTube in my channel will be taken from this Zoom recording. And then I'll also take a second shot of this video, which is just the piece that I'm going to use for YouTube. So I won't be able to unfortunately do that on screen, but I will open up Flixia and show you a bit of how that works and how you can chop things up really, really simply and quickly. Then I've got the choice of using systems like Lumen 5, InVideo, and Wave Video to do any sort of fancier video that I think that would be better done there than in Canva. But Canva is pretty good these days. So I'm going to start with Canva. And if there's something I go, you know what, let's make it a little fancier, I might do it in, say, InVideo, which I think is probably one of the better systems out there for doing this kind of thing. So let's grab that blog post and have a go. Now, I've just got to get out of this screen and into another one. So let's go over to my website. Hopefully you can still see that. So in my website, it's just a typical StoryBrand style website, which is contains all my different things. So different products, such as my digital marketing websites, my mobile product, my NBN plans. Yes, I sell mobiles and NBNs too. It's a bit of fun that I do on the side, and it allows me to make a little bit of extra residual income, which is always something we like to do. But what I'm really going to do is go into the Learn section. Now, the Learn section is where all my blogs are. So this is the one I just wrote yesterday on the 29th. Our chatbot's dead. So I'm going to go and pick one randomly out of here that I think might be useful for us. So let's just say, I like the Who is Your Competitor one back in June. So in this article, as it comes up, I'm going to have, this is going to be split into, because I write my blogs a specific way, split into three different main points. So I start off with an introduction, and then I've got a bunch of points. So what kind of competitors are there? Now in this lot, I've actually got 5 different points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different points until it gets to the end. And then I create a bunch of Canva articles Canva graphics along the way to make that just stand out that little bit more. You'll notice also at the bottom here, I've got the podcast, which is the recorded version of this. So it's essentially all these words that I've written down recorded into audio and also made into video. So I can then open that up and start playing that podcast, or I can just use this as a blog itself. So let's pull this one apart. We're going to look at sharing this article, which is just simply just going there and going to my Facebook page, and I can share that. I can go to LinkedIn and share that as well. I'm going to go to Twitter. So these are the really basic ones where we know that we're just sharing the most basic stuff we can possibly share. So that's in the wrong account, so I'll have to change it over. Go into my correct account, which is, you won't see my password, so don't worry too much about that. Just that always gives me a wrong password message there. Okay, wants me to log in, send me a message that I never seem to get. All right, hopefully that'll come on its way. Then I'm going to go into LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn's pretty easy because I can just take the link, place it in here. And then share that as an article. So it loads a preview, all that sort of stuff. But LinkedIn has its own, see, it's a bit of an uninspiring kind of shared post. LinkedIn also has its own article writing area. So this write an article, I can put it under which particular one. I'm going to put it under Clickstarter. So it's not going to be from me, it's going to be from my company. Then I can load in the copy of that particular article. So let's go and copy all that out. So I'm going to go down here, copy all this in. It's probably the lazy way to do it, but you know, I'm going to do it anyway. LinkedIn. So it's copied in at least the text for me, which is fine. And it's kept the formatting, which I want, including all the links that go everywhere. So now I just need to go and create some images for that. So I can go over to Canva. I'm going to create, so I'm going to pick up one of the ones I usually use. I use this particular layout. Download that. That's going to become my heading. And then I've got the opportunity to copy in all those different images down the way. But then in here, you don't really need to do that. In LinkedIn, you don't have to go too far with your articles having lots and lots of images in them. But just for the sake of it, making it look pretty, let's just go save this one. So just taking everything that's already on my site and repurposing it. And then number 2, down to number 3. So just essentially just recreating that same blog in LinkedIn. Now, the LinkedIn thing is really quite good. Now, you're not going to get hundreds of thousands of people reading your stuff in here, but what you do get is a bunch of stuff that shows your expertise. So LinkedIn's definitely been a place where I've concentrated on quite heavily in recent years. It's been a place that I've wanted to make sure I've made an impact on, and it's been really quite valuable for me to do that. So I think that if you've got a service-based business, LinkedIn can be a great place to go to that little bit of extra effort just to make sure that you've got yourself, you know, a presence there that makes sense. Now, if you're working in tourism or food and beverage or retail or just selling e-commerce, LinkedIn probably not the greatest place for you. It's not going to be that particularly that effective for you. But what it might be is that it's a place just to give you an extra link back to your website, which has some SEO value to it. So if you're going to do that, that can be quite a positive impact on your search engine results, but I wouldn't go too into it unless you're a service-based business selling things like consulting, services like software, anything that really is about you serving clients on an hourly rate rather than selling them a specific product as such. So number 5, get that one in there. So then just check that over, make sure everything's logged in the way I want it to be. Bang, 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 all there. So now I can publish that and push it out. Oh, we've got to give it a title first. The many layers of your competition. And then I'm going to publish it. And it's going to ask me then, have you considered who your competition really is? It may not be who you think. Publish that, and that's a piece of content out there. So notice though, there's not just the article, it's actually the post as well. So that's 2 pieces of content. Now, if I want to now take a bit more of this out, I'm going to go into Canva and pull out the main areas of this. So the main sections of this are your direct competitors, your direct vertical competitors, your online competitors. So I'm going to take your direct product competitors, and I'm going to create something in Canva. So let's create a Instagram post. So this is the square post. And I'm going to look for something. Now, I like to create a bit of difference here. I like to create both video and still image versions. So I'm going to go into my photos. Now, you're going to have in the free version a certain amount of photos you can work with. But in the pro version I've got, you've got access to a lot more of them. So I'm going to take this one because, you know, male aggression is always something interesting. Pop over to the video, and I'm going to go into the video section, which is hiding somewhere. Styles, photos, text. Where's the videos? Where are you, buddy? Go into the more videos. Here we go. So the funny thing is that in Canva now, you can record yourself talking to something and embed it into a Canva graphic, or you can just search the extensive library of videos as well. So competition, it's showing lots of different competitions. I can hover on them, let those play. There's some things that probably kind of really bad kind of, I don't think we want little sperm swimming. But we can watch people running. That's kids running through a classroom and then out onto a field. That's kind of cool. That might be a really good one to use. It's got a little bit of darkness to it. It's going to make it easy for me to write things on top of it. Sian's asking, is LinkedIn under my name, not the name of the business? Yeah. So you can put it under your name, or you can have it the name of your business. So I posted it to my business page, not to my personal account, because I already posted something to LinkedIn late yesterday. So I don't want to sort of overload that particular feed with too much. There's only so much Dante that the world can take. Trust me. That's why I'm single. Okay, so let's create this article. So we'll take the first one, this one here, and I'm going to put some words in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is add my logo, which I've got tucked away in here. So I've got a brand new logo that I'm very proud of. I'm going to chuck that, not that version, not this version, the white version. Where are you, buddy? Might be this one. No. Just take this one, this one. So I'm going to throw that down in a corner. So it's not sort of in the way, but it's enough to sort of brand it. Just enough, just a little bit. You don't need a lot in there. Hop in to start the words. So I'm going to use my brand, font. And I'm going to start writing it. So probably white text is going to be right. And I'm going to start with, are you sizing up So it's going to put like a little thought-provoking thing there. I like to do left aligned and then squish my letters up a bit more because I don't really like huge gaps between my lines. I can make that a bit bigger, a bit smaller. Make it go across a bit further. In this particular photo, I'm looking for the place where it's going to sit, where it's going to stand out a bit. So in this case, there's a bit there that I don't like how it's not very clear. So I'm just going to go Canva and just adjust that to be a bit darker in the background so it shows up a bit more. So I can then put that over the American dollars because I don't really deal with American dollars. And there I've got myself a nice little post. Now I'm going to also chuck in a background shadow just to make it stand out just that little bit more. So now you can read that a lot more clearly. So that's a graphic number one. Now what I'm going to do is duplicate that. They've got two there. And I'm going to now create another one, which is for another one of the competition points I was doing. So I was doing, for instance, in my article, we were talking about the the online competitors. So I'm going to talk about online competitors in this particular one. So I've copied it. I just need a new photo. I'm just going to go e-commerce as a thing. So I'm going to just get some concept photos of what e-commerce looks like. I might pick up this one. There you go. spelling right? Tiptoes. I'm just going to fiddle around with this until I get it looking the way I want it to get. It's small. I want to get that all in the one line. There we go. So again, I might just want to play with the lining up to make sure it actually looks right. It's starting to look okay. All right, so that's number 2. So number 1, number 2, and then I've got number 3. So let's throw in another picture from another part of one of my points, which is the expanded competitors. So this is an interesting point I made in my article, is that if you're selling something for $3,000, you're not just up against other people who are selling your same thing for $3,000 or $2,000 or $6,000. You're up against everybody who's competing for that same $3,000, which could be Harvey Norman trying to sell a $3,000 TV, Apple trying to sell a $3,000 computer. I think you get the point. So what I'm going to do is get money. And I'm going to get Australian money. Funnily enough, there is Aussie money in here. See, so I'm just going to get those $100 notes, chuck them in there. And it's a little bit darker. It doesn't stand out quite the same. So I might just have to pick up another version of my logo that's going to sit a little bit more neatly in there. So one that has this. And then that'll look a bit more clear. There we go. So it still gets the concept of the $100 notes, all those. So now I've got all those 3. I'm going to download those. So I've got the first 3 of my things. Now, bear in mind, these images are going to be used on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What else am I missing? LinkedIn as well. So they're all going to be used on different parts. So once I've downloaded those, I'm now going to go over and make my video posts. The same sort of thing. So I'm going to go grab this one, because these kids are all racing through the hall. We're going to use this as an example. Now, notice how, because this isn't like a very dark one, it starts off dark. It's a race, so it kind of suits the thought that we're going with on this one. So I might just pull it back down the bottom again, because I think the darkness stays better down there. And then eventually what will happen is they'll run so far and they get into the light, and then all that wording will fall out, and that's fine. Like, I don't really mind that at all. So as long as the beginning shows really well, let's duplicate that and do the next one. So I'm going to take the same thing, same posts. And so I'm going to fiddle around with the writing a bit more. So I'm not going to repeat the writing, obviously. I'm just using the writing as the basis for the next one. So the next one was to do with competitors being online. So I'm going to take another point from the article, which is direct and vertical competitors. So I'm going to put there your competitors now are using delivery to enter your market. So that's the idea now, that competitors aren't just the people who are in your town, they're now the people who are offering delivery services into your town or into your city. So I'm going to look at some stuff here. Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, thank you for that, Sian. When I'm doing a rush like this, it does get a little bit, it's fraught with problems when I start doing the whole, doing things quickly. So I got delivery over here. That's not delivery. It's delivery of food like Uber Eats. I'm probably looking for something like this. So let's look at what this one looks like. She looks great. Let's just maybe put a darker filter over the top of that so that my words show out a little bit better. So I do that just by putting a square over the video, filling up the screen, making it black, and then going to backwards so it's only over the top of the video, and playing with the transparency. There we go. So it's a bit easier to read now what I'm doing. So I've got my first one, I got my second one, now I have a third one. And I'm taking another point out of my article, which can be, let's have a look. Okay, whoever your competitors, keep watch on them, but not at the expense of running your own race. So that's a really good point, is that we can have such an amazing look at the ability to look at competitors all the time, but ultimately you have to run your race. Run your race, be your best, leave your competitors in the rear view mirror. I might just close those up a little bit more because they're a little bit too tight. It's better. And now we're going to have a video that's going to be doing like a race. So we're going to look for a race. We're going to look for something like the Paris-Dakar Rally looks pretty good. And we've got something like a four-wheel drive going. Aussies love their four-wheel drives. We buy more of those than any other sort of thing. There we go. So it's a little bit of fun. But in this case, the feature is at the bottom. So I'm going to pull this up the top so that it shows that a bit more. Now, I also don't need necessarily a dark filter over that. This is probably going to be okay. I might need to swap out that for the this one, so it shows through a bit better. I came up there. I use Canva a lot, so I'm usually pretty quick with it. So now what I've got essentially is 3 video posts for LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, even Google My Business should take these, even though the Google My Business videos don't show very well on this brain, but I can do that through here. So what I do for Google My Business, I might want to make sure that all these sit in the middle. So rather than just trying to put everything in a certain way, I might put in the middle because that will be compatible with all different networks I'm going to send them to. I hate the fact there's American dollars there. So I actually want to swap that out for another photo because it's really irking me. So let's go competition. Didn't spell it right, but they can help me. Competition. What happens when you try to type too quickly? So you do the start, the black and white. Drag it over a little bit so you can actually read that it says start. So that one's there, that one's ready. You might swap this one out for like this. There you go. Or I can go e-commerce like I was doing in the past. Good question from Carrie asking, if you post videos on Facebook, do they play automatically or do people need to click on them? Yes, they play automatically. So you won't need to click on those at all. That's going to be a lot simpler. I think if they had to play them at all, you probably had trouble getting them to play them. All right, so that's those done. So I'm going to download those guys again. Download the PNGs. PNGs always for online, rather than especially for Facebook. If you try to go and put JPEGs on Facebook, they downsample really badly and they become very pixelated. So always do PNG graphics for posting on the Facebook and Instagram because it maintains the quality a lot better than JPEG does. That's why sometimes you do a Facebook cover photo and it upsizes and it looks really, really sketchy. Just doesn't look great at all. That's because you've used a JPEG instead of a PNG. So now I've got all these. I'm going to pop over into my Social Pilot program and I'm going to schedule them. So just look, you don't really know how, you don't need to use Social Pilot. I'm just going to use it as an example to show how I'm then able to post all these to these different places. So I'm going to expand my 2 little folders. I'm going to go into my posts and I'm going to create a post. Now I've already got everything grouped, so I can go to ClickStarter and it's already picked out all my different ClickStarter related brand areas, including my Google My Business and all those things. So I'm going to add one, upload an image. I'm going to grab, is this the right one? These ones are, yep, PNG. So I'm going to grab number 1. So it's going to upload that fella. And I'm going to write a little blurb on that. Now I can just grab it from here, grab it from my article. So I can go, who are your direct product competitors? I'm just going to copy a little bit of this in. Competition is a complex concept. You know, the competitors are always popping up. Pop it into Social Pilot. Put in my words, and I'm going to put a call to action in there as well. So I'm going to go, for instance, talk to us about your plans for your competition, or your plans to maintain your competitive edge. So we've got that one. I'm going to now schedule that. So I'm going to schedule it for tomorrow, and 12:29 is fine. I don't need a particular time. I like them to go in the afternoon rather than the mornings because everyone's too busy in the mornings. So that's going to schedule out for then. That's number one. Then that's going to, and I'll show you again, I selected ClickStarter. So it's actually going to my Facebook page, my LinkedIn business page, my Google My Business page, another Google My Business page, because I've got two different locations for that, a third location for Darwin SEO. It's going also to my ClickStarter Twitter account. And that's about it. I haven't set it to go to my Instagram. I don't know why I didn't select that, but I should select that. So I'll select that this time. Where else? That's about it for me. So now I'll do the next one, upload the image, my second one. And this one was all about the next point, which is to do with, we'll see in a second as it uploads. Show us it. So this one's about your competitors are now online. You once competed against people in your hometown. Now you're competing with Amazon. Want to know how to get your edge back? Book an hour with us and we'll show you how. So then I'll book that one. I'm going to schedule this one in to the week after. So schedule post. So if tomorrow is the 30th, then I'm going to go out to September, and it's going to be Tuesday the 7th. Same rough time schedule. So it's going out to all those places. So I've scheduled something like 18 different posts just because of the different places I'm sending them all to. Let's do our third. And these are real posts that I'm scheduling. These are actually going to my social media properties. So I'm not mucking around here. This is actually real. So this one was towards the end, which was to do with the vast number of people who are competing for that revenue that you're going to put out there. So let's put that up, make sure it's there. Yep. That $3,000 you are competing for isn't just between you and the others who do what you do. It's also competing with everything else that $3,000 can buy. Learn more about being competitive online with a free initial consultation. And then I'm going to schedule that one for another week out from there. Oops, got to select my group, Kickstarter. I'm going to select also my there. I'm going to select none of my self-branded stuff, just all my stuff. Okay, so we'll put that in, schedule it for September, and it's going to be the week after the one I just did, which is going to be the 14th, around the similar time as well. So now schedule all of those guys. So if you've got still videos, the way that and that's a great question from Sian here, is that we can turn any of those still videos into videos simply by adding animated effects to them. So if I wanted to say, okay, I don't want to create these additional videos here with actual video backgrounds. What I want to do is make these into videos. So I can either animate the things that are in there. So I can make these things pop up. So make them go, let's just say breathe. So it all grows like that. See? So that gives me a 15-second video. That's how it makes it a video. So if I didn't want that, I wanted to make it maybe pop. So it pops up, baseline like that. kind of scrapbooks together, drift, all these different things will make this a video. So I'm with the neon effect. And so if I go to download this now, it's going to say, oh, it's all now MP4 video. So I'll have to do the same thing with all these other guys. Make it a effect. Oh, sorry, animate. And then neon, and animate neon for these guys too. I'm just choosing neon because it's got like a cool, literally like a neon lights coming on. And the other thing you can do too is add stickers, just like you can do in things like Instagram stories. So if I go now looking for elements, I'm going to look for kind of stickers that have got things in them. So if I want to look for, let's just say I'm going to look for a woman, and I want to look for a graphic of a woman. So it gives me then the graphics, and then I can go the little cheeky thing here and go animated. And this is available for free people as well. So then I can grab any of these and then turn these into kind of fun videos. So I've got this person here, looks like they're competing, they're like a cartoon character. So then you're turning all those things into videos. Or if I think that's a bit silly, because I'm not really a fan of those particular graphics, but it could be someone here on video. Then you created essentially a video instead of a graphic. So it's a really simple way of you adding elements that are animated to turn your still videos into video, still graphics, sorry, into videos. So that's kind of like a lot of this is sort of remove the need for me to go and create video posts on other tools, like for instance, InVideo. But I will show you InVideo a little bit because this is giving me a lot of pre-made templates that are very smooth and very slick. So let's just say I want to try a video post, and I want it to be not that, so I want to be square. It's bringing up now. I paid for this through a thing called AppSumo, but it's not available anymore. And it lets you have things like this. So if I hover on this, it's going to show me what this video is like. So they've too got some stock videos in the background. And see how everything's very smooth and everything's very well put together. So it's a bit nicer than just your very sort of very standard stop-starty kind of stuff from Canva. I can look for something like this one looks good. So it's got music built into it as well. And it's a bit more of it like a story, I guess. There you go. Or we can look at things like kindness. So you can tell a bit more of a story about it. So if I was looking for a thing called listicles, so I'm going to look for listicle. Now listicle is like oops, got to spell it right. Listicles. Listicles are kind of like the top 3 restaurants in the world. They tell a bit of a story by looking at lists. So one that's really good here: 3 natural ways to tackle a hangover. So what I might want to do in here, instead of making it about hangovers, I'm going to make this video about competitors and competition. So that comes together. I can take those 3 of the main points I've got. So here you've got 5 zones. I've got the opener. I got point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, and then I'm going to close off with a conclusion. So it's already got the story built out for me and a bit of music as well. So I'm going to replace this with my logo. So I'm going to upload the logo. I've only got my old logo in there at the moment. So I can work with the right stuff. Can't be going out there in the world with an old logo, can we? White, that's what I want. And then I just drag my logo over into the space that's been given for the logo, and I'll immediately put it in there and then carry that across to the others. Now, the problem is, though, of course, it's got a white background, so you're not going to see it perfectly. That's all right, because there's some darker ones in there as well. I'm going to change this to 3 competitors you didn't know you had. Some sort of backgroundy things in there, but I'm just going to leave those there. Get some new video from here. Look for a race. So I have some people running. Okay, we've got a race here. So I'm going to drop that in there. It's going to ask me, do I want to replace the video? Yeah, I do. And I'm going to trim it to fit the scene that's already, the scene's length that's already there. So there we go. Nope, I don't want to use the full video. Oops. Go back. Let's do that again properly. Trim video to fit scene and done. So now it's going to fit that right area. So if I then play that back, I'll be able to see how that looks. And then I'm going to go to this one and change this to 1. Your online competitors. Change this to e-commerce. I don't really want premium media. I'll just use the cheap stuff. There you go. Throw that in there. Replace. Same kind of thing. Trim it to fit the scene. Done. Might also want to chuck my logo in there as well this time. There we go. It shows up a bit better in that one. Move my number 1 up a little bit so it fits. So you can start to see that there's tools allow you to do these things. So I'm going to do, this one's going to be the guys in the next town. Throw my logo in again, grab a video. I'm going to put delivery. Yeah, find a delivery driver in here somewhere in the stock photos. Where are you? Don't want the premium stuff, just need the cheapies. All right, who's delivering? It's a delivery. There you go, there's a guy in a delivery. Replace. Trim again, done. So I'm essentially building a nice video that tells the story visually. Doesn't require a voiceover or anything like that. Third one's going to be the other stuff their money can buy. Now it doesn't fit right, so I'm just going to stretch it out. Stretch that again. Take the center, make it look better. Take number 3, drag him up there. Oops, you go back down there, buddy. And then I'm going to put a television in there, or maybe, I don't know, TV. Come on. All right, so we got a television. I don't want one that's got static on it. Maybe a holiday. There you go. These guys are going to be watching TV on a holiday. So that $3,000 they're going to spend. I don't actually know off the top of my head how much in-video costs at the moment. It used to be $79 US for life. Just pay once and that's it. So it'd be a bit more. So it's one of the more advanced ones, but you don't have to use in-video. It's just a particularly advanced thing that you can use, but you do not have to use this particular tool. So I just made a mistake on that one. Let's try that again. Back over here, replace. The computer's starting to run a little bit short and use done. That's better. And then my final one, I'm going to go put my logo in once more. Kind of nice if it went in to all of them all the time. Then we can go ready to compete. So the important thing to understand here is that I am not a graphic designer and I'm not a videographer, yet I'm able to produce things that do look decent and they do look like they're going to work because I use the right tools to do that. But in my website, it's in capitals though. Go back to the middle. It's got little guidelines that tell you that reach the middle properly. And then I'm going to put another video of running. Get rid of the premium, get the cheap stuff. Get on, buddy. Line them up. There we go. So I'm going to put a cute dog on there because everyone likes dogs. Replace. Fit the scene and done. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play this back. We're going to see what it looks like. So that's like essentially like a 26-second video. So nearly the length of a TV ad, really, at 30 seconds. Let's play it, see what it looks like. So there we've got a complete video that I can then use on there. So if I go to download and share that, it will then make it for 1080p. So I'll do that, export. And once this creates this, I'm then able to do something really interesting, which is use this same video, but turn it into a different shape. So once I've got it into the square format, I can duplicate it now as a widescreen or as a vertical for stories. So it might be, it's going to be too long for stories. So I might just go widescreen. It's going to create a copy of that, but put it in a widescreen format. So you'll see what I mean in a sec. And it's immediately created a separate video that I can then, funnily enough, use on YouTube, which is where some of the YouTube stuff comes in. So not only am I recording in a version of my blog that will be used for YouTube, I'm also going to be running an extra YouTube video on top of that as well. So you can see how you can start to build up quite a lot of content very quickly. We haven't gone to an hour yet, and I've already created probably something like 22 pieces of content that can be used across all those things. I've scheduled some of those things already, and I'm going to put a few more in. So just waiting for this 99% to kick on over. While it's doing that, I'm going to pop over onto Medium. Now, Medium is an online magazine or an online newspaper that lots of articles appear on. Now, I've been writing lots of things on here. Let's just see my stories. Over in here, I've published 101 articles in here over the last year. So I've got tons and tons and tons of them. I've got only a little modest following in there, but mainly what I'm doing this for is to have a bit more variety in the places where my content appears and where links to my website appear. So it gives more chances for more people to come into my website. And because Medium is regarded as more of a premium property for posting premium articles, then it's one of those things where, you know, it shows better. So I go on the Facebook Myths one. It's going to show me then what that article looks like. And this is essentially just a copy of an article that's on my website that I put onto also LinkedIn and also onto here in Medium. So now I've got, you know, people I follow. I've got people who are following me. So I can go to the bottom of that and it'll show me, you know, all my links I put into all the different places I want to show. Now, you don't have to pay for Medium, but it does help if you do pay a small amount. I think it works out about $50 a year to have the premium features and to get featured more often. So it's showing me that if there's comments there's no comments on that one, but I do know that I got a comment on something before because it showed me that one of my articles had a comment. Okay, this one, the chatbots one. There you go. There's a comment there and 50 people have responded to it, which is pretty cool. So let's go in and see the comment that I got. So it's just another source of it. Now, the thing, I had 50 people like that. I don't have 50 people liking my stuff on Facebook. I don't have 50 people liking my stuff necessarily on LinkedIn. So to actually get that over here is fantastic. You know, and there you go. There's someone, I'm going to applaud him for being nice to me. I might even, you know, reply to that. So I'm actually getting another place where I'm getting more coverage and more authority and credibility than I would on, say, Facebook or Twitter or somewhere like that. So that's why I do that. I think it's just a really good place to go and get. So I've only got 26 followers, but I got 50 people read that. So it's like this has been shared by other people to more people, or I might have even been featured. I don't know. We'll have a look and see if I actually got featured as well. I might have. Doesn't say anything about it in my notifications. But sometimes my stuff gets featured because on the front page of Medium and gets pushed out to a whole lot more people so they can see that. So given that I've only got 26 followers, but 50 people reacted to my thing, it's chances are I actually got featured somewhere to a bunch of people, which is great. I get that maybe 3-4 times a year and increases my following. So then we've got over here, obviously, our LinkedIn one. So I've already got that in. I've got people responding already by the looks of it. Let's see, notifications. People have been looking at my profile. Nothing yet, but that will take time and always does. Then I can go into to Twitter, but I've already posted to Twitter through Social Pilot. So I already went and set all that off to there. Pop over the link. Gosh, it's still taking ages, this one. Sometimes it takes a little while when you're trying to do too much at once. Now, another area I want to show you for turning some of these things you might record. So for instance, if you like to record things talking to camera and then edit them into something which is rather cool before you send them off, like for instance, what I do with all these webinars that I do, I then go into a little thing called Flixia. And Flixia doesn't cost much, I don't think. I paid for this once through AppSumo, and I haven't really had to pay for it since. So what I do is I've got a template here that I open up, and then I can slip in another copy of a video over the top of it. So all my videos start off with, I might need to turn this down because it's going to come out loud probably, starts off with this picture of this woman in a restaurant working on her iPad, and it comes up with an introduction of me and what the video is about. So I'm taking you through this particular topic today, which is all about designing a far better website for a service business. Now, so that's exactly what I'm going to do to this particular webinar afterwards, because that then gives me something I put up on YouTube. I have my own YouTube channel with nearly 200 videos in it, because I'm able to repurpose this and turn it into something else. Now, the other thing I can do, and if you're going to, if I could get you to probably, let's just say, indulge me a bit, I'm going to read this article into this video or into something else and record it so that I can then turn this into a piece of content. So what I'll do is probably use QuickTime to record it, to record me, and record it into my downloads. So you can't see this, sorry, but trust me, it's there. I'm going to have a new movie recording. That movie recording is going to view me from my other camera, which I'll just move this one across so it can see me. So I've got two cameras going at the same time on my computer. Thankfully, it's a very powerful computer. And I've just got to make sure now that I've also got my right microphone going so it sounds decent. All right, down the bottom, let's see. I've got the FaceTime camera. I've got my microphone ready to go. Let's see how this works. In 3, 2, 1. Look, you sell bananas. A guy down the road sells bananas. In the next town, another guy over there sells bananas as well. It's kind of bananas. There's everyone selling bananas. So how do you actually compete with all these people selling bananas? I'm Dante St. James, and this is the ClickStarter YouTube channel. So competition may be a complex concept. You may assume that your main competitor is someone who it's not necessarily but that competitor could be someone far more diverse than you think. Complex competition is everywhere. So what kind of competitors do you have? There's number 1, direct product competitors. Number 2, direct vertical competitors. Number 3, online competitors. Number 4, expanded competitors. And number 5, what we call disposable income competitors. What does all this mean? Let's unpack it a bit. Your direct product competitors are those people and businesses that sell the exact same product as you do. If you're selling Thermomix, and every other person in your world who sells Thermomix is, strangely enough, your competitor. You sell it, they sell it, they're likely to bump into the same people as you. So if someone you know is going to buy a Thermomix, it's either going to go in your pocket or it's going to go into theirs. Now, there's the next step, which is your direct vertical competitors. These are the people and businesses that are selling very similar kind of things to you. If you're selling Thermomix, for instance, they might be selling a blender or a food processor or a soup maker, or maybe even an air fryer. Everyone has an air fryer these days. None of them does everything that the Thermomix does, but they each do a bit of what one of those does. That means that someone who's considering buying a Thermomix, who then decides to buy a blender and an air fryer, well, they've bought those things from one of your vertical competitors instead of buying the thing from you. Then your online competitors, which is number 3. Well, let's give the kitchen appliances a bit of a rest for a second and look at someone who sells, like, say, life coaching services. You've grown a small clientele, right? Of other women in your town have been seeking services like the ones that you're providing. It's been nice. Then one day you lose one of those clients and you ask them why. And they ask that they're leaving because they've decided to work with a coach who's not in your town, but online. That's an online competitor. Now, while you're aware of all these other in-person coaches in your town, you were keeping an eye on them. What you didn't realize is a whole bunch of them out there in online land. The online commerce world is highly disruptive to local services, and that's why you need to keep an eye on it. Then there's the impact of your expanded competitors. Let's just say, for instance, when you're in a business networking group, they teach you that it's not usually the core of people that you talk to who are going to get that sale through. It's the next lot of people are coming out. So what you want to do is, comfortably refer to each other. But the reality is you should be encouraging referrals out to the people that they know. This is where you get the expanded competitors that are outside your town or outside your normal sphere of influence, who are able to compete into what you might have thought was a captive market of yours. And then finally, we've got the vast number of people who are competing for your income but aren't selling what you sell. That $3,000 that you were going to get for that coaching program or for that Thermomix or anything like that, that money is in competition with everything else that money can buy, like TVs from Harvey Norman, like holidays to, I don't know, where can you go in coronavirus days? Perth, maybe. Wherever that money could go is a competitor to where your money, that your $3,000 that you wanted to go. But after all is said and done, the best strategy for competition is running your own race. Don't be always looking behind, always be looking forward. Be aware of what's coming up behind you, but don't live by it. You run your race, you be you, and you'll never lose. So what I did there, now I'm back in the world of living, is I've recorded that into QuickTime, which I'm now going to stop, and I can edit that later. So what I'm going to try and do is show you a live editing of this while we're really live. Gosh, it's got to find where to turn it off. Come on, where are you, buddy? Where are you? No, that's Zoom. I'm looking for QuickTime. Where's QuickTime? Here. Stop. Okay, that's 4 minutes 20 it recorded. So I've now got this QuickTime video that you can't see. And I'm going to go over now and share my screen and show you how I then work with this to design that video. So I'm going to grab a new video. I'm going to import, pick it up, grab it from my downloads. There we go. It's this one here. It's now going to import that up, 26.5 megabytes. It's going to take a while to do that. It's going to count up here. So once it gets that on there, I can then drop it into this template and work from there. So I've made it so that it doesn't really matter. Sorry, you can't see it because I still haven't shared my screen. Sorry. This is a bit messy. We go sharing this one. And we can see again. All right. Oh, that's a really, really pretty photo of me. We don't want to sort of land on that one. So let's get rid of the old video that I no longer need in there. I'm going to drop the new video in there, which is now processed. And the reason I use this particular online service is because it's way, way faster than what the ones that are, that's the wrong videos. It's way, way faster than all the stuff that I use elsewhere online. Recording. So it's still saving. Might be a sec. Save, save, save. Come on, buddy. You can do it. You can do it. Going to check the time to see how far behind or ahead we are. Oh, we're just about finished. So I'll quickly do this and show you the example of it. Go my device, recording, upload this fella, 2.2 gig. That's going to take forever. So we won't show you that. But what I'll be able to show you then is, I guess, that you got this idea of where all this different content's going to go. So if you can do it really, like, as fairly, make yourself a lot of templates in Canva, so you've got something to work with. You can produce video and you can produce static video, graphics in Canva. The C words are really messing me up today. You can use tools such as InVideo to make something that's a little bit fancier. So this one's never going to make it. It's got a bug in it, but we've got that video out that we can use on different things. I can use Social Pilot. You can use Business Suite on Facebook to schedule into your Facebook and your Instagram. And don't forget that when you make these things in Canva, there's another shape called stories that you can play with as well. So for instance, I could take this and create an Instagram story, then take the pieces of any of these things. So let's just say one of the videos. I can take the beach buggy video. I'm going to dump it in on top of this guy. Come on, anytime you're ready, buddy, you can drop it in. I think I'm trying to do too much at once and it's punishing me. I'm going to cancel that. stop it from taking up all my bandwidth. Back here. Okay, now I've got the beach buggy in there. I can take then all the other elements that are in there, such as this and this, and whack them in on a different shape as well. So the idea is then you're not just producing stuff for the desktop, you're producing stuff for mobile as well. And I can just change my colors around to make that stand out a bit better. Take out that gammy. There we go. Make it all a bit bigger so it shows up better. Then whack in my logo if I want to make it show a bit better. Like, I don't like the look of that logo version, so I might grab another one and then drop this fella in. There we go. Much, much better. And then I have a story that I can place. So I'm going to actually shorten this video. So click on the video, you can actually crop it. At the moment, it's 27.9 seconds long. I only need 15 because that's as long as the story is going to be. Then I'll download that video. I'm going to pop on over to Facebook. And over in Facebook, I can't do it in that one because it wants me to log in. So let's just say I'll go here, log in here. And I'm going to load up, in case you've not seen Business Suite before. If I go, say, for instance, the ClickStarter page. Now, in the ClickStarter page, I can't necessarily upload something from here, but in Business Suite, I can. So I'm going to go to what they call the publishing tools, but it's going to then say, hey, it's now moved to Business Suite. Any moment now. It's not making life easy. It's going to my old version. So I'm going to go Business Suite. Come on, buddy. Internet's not going as fast as I'd like it to go. And we're running late, so I apologize for that. We'll be out of here in a sec. All right, so ClickStarter, I'm in there. So what you can do now in Business Suite is not just schedule posts, but schedule stories. And not just for Facebook, but also for Instagram. So I schedule the story, and it'll go out to both of them. So add my media. And you can add up to 10 different photos at the same time. So it's a story that goes through a process. I'm only going to do the one for this one. And this one's going to go out almost immediately. So it's uploading it. I can then preview it. Now, you don't have text in the story. So this is just really just all branding when you're putting stories in. Process the video. Any moment now, I'll show us what that video looks like and allow me to post that video straight out to Facebook and LinkedIn stories. So you can do this now and schedule it. You don't have to post it straight away. You can schedule it for a specific time. It's taking a bit. Here we go. It's going to show me my preview, loading the preview. And it's going to show me what it looks like on Facebook first. There you go. And then what it looks like on Instagram. Pretty much the same. So you're like, yep, I'm liking the look of that. It's telling me to trim it because it's slightly too long. So I'll just apply the trim. And then, come on, process, 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 and I can post this any second now. So it's just a bit of a recap where it's going here. Remember, though, that when you're posting these different things, that you're posting different things at different places. So if you're producing stories, there's lots of places that accept stories. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn has stories. YouTube has a thing called Shorts, which are essentially just stories as well. So a lot of these different things have them. In Twitter, they've got a thing called Fleets, but a lot of these programs only allow you to do it through the mobile phone, not through the desktop. So you may have to do it in different places. But that's what a story in Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. That's 5 pieces of content straight away. Then you're going to do another 5 of those in just, not in stories, but in posts, regular everyday posts, all this stuff. That's 10 pieces of content. So it's just a matter of producing stuff that's going to work across all those different platforms and making sure you're ready to put those across them. And it's very, very achievable for you to take a post that you've already done and in 1 hour have produced 40 different pieces of content going out everywhere. This is how the Gary Vaynerchuks of the world do it, plus his team of 60 people, mind you. But that's how it works. So now it's done. I'm just going to publish that. And that's going to appear in the stories feed of both Facebook and Instagram for my particular business. So if I was to go back to Facebook, And I can see up here, there's things that have been posted. Here's one. This is the one here. There's a click starter one. I click on it. This is the one I put in yesterday, I believe. Yep, so this is yesterday's one. And any second now, there'll be another one that pops in there. So you'll then start to see how all these things appear all over the internet. So I'm just going to, Carrie's asking over what time frame do I share them? Usually what I do is I share them all in a sequence. So I just go, okay, not all in one day. That's just ridiculous. I use one post that I do once a week, and then I use all those repurposed pieces over a week or two. Depends on how lazy I want to be. If I want to be lazy enough that I don't want to do any more posts for the next month, I could make those work over a month if I want to. But the idea for me is to get a variety of stuff out there. If I'm basing it on one article about competitiveness, then I'm not covering my expertise in Facebook, in LinkedIn, in other digital systems. So generally what I do is put in the 1 week and then just have that going all over the place. But I never have more than 3 posts a week on any one platform except for LinkedIn. LinkedIn's the one place where I'll post every day because I've got the audience that seems to like that. So yeah, you can use that however you want, time it out however you want. All you need to do is just get that first piece of content done, which is your blog post or article, or maybe just be inspired by someone else's article who's done that as well. Take pieces of what they've written and turn it into little piecemeal pieces of stories, posts, that kind of stuff, and little videos of your own. You don't have to have your own thoughts out there. You can take thoughts from thought leaders, maybe just credit them and say, hey, this is thanks to Gary Vee. Hey, this is thanks to Brene Brown, whoever you're taking your inspiration from. I hope you got something out of this. You probably learned there's a whole set of new tools to get. Please don't put pressure on yourself. Remember, you're running a race ahead. You're not looking behind. So make sure you're looking at what you're able to realistically do in a week, not what someone like me who does this every day is able to do in an hour. So you do what you can do with that. Thank you so much. It's really been fun. It's always a very high pressure thing to make sure that things actually work. If you want to keep in touch with me at all, I have got a screen here with some stuff that I can share as far as contact details. And of course, the ASBAS Digital Solutions program has come to an end and it's all changed now. So the good news is for you, all the webinars and workshops will be absolutely free, and you can find those all through the Business Station website and Eventbrite. And you don't have to go through a portal to do all that. You just do it directly from Eventbrite or Business Station's website. Or you can book the new ASBAS Digital Solutions, which is just called Digital Solutions Program. You may be able to somehow qualify for that. Just check it out at businessstation.com.au. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in the next one of these videos very, very shortly. In fact, I've got one tomorrow.